The world of human resources has evolved rapidly over the years. Our occupation expanded from being the personnel department or paperwork manager to now being the strategic business partner. Each one of us who works in HR has different experiences based on the type of industry or employer we work for or the type of role that we play. To give exposure to different employers and HR practitioners and to engage our members with diversified learning needs, I'm very excited to show you these interactive dialogues between myself and other HR practitioners in the vlog format. Can't wait? Let's watch the video. Hello everyone, my name is Ada Tai. I am the host and initiator of this program. Today our guest is Sarah Costorso, HR Manager with Eco Canada in Calgary. Welcome here, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Excellent. I was very excited to know that when our association put out the announcement for this vlog initiative, you expressed strong interest. Please tell the audience why you were interested in this vlog.
Well, I saw it as a really great opportunity to engage with a new audience. Eco Canada provides so many great resources within the environmental industry, but there's always so much more value for HR professionals, no matter which industry that they operate in. So I just saw your posting and thought that this would be a great way to get our name out there and to be able to promote our resources to my own peers.
That's great. And I know that when you and I spoke over the phone the first time, you mentioned to me you had been with Eco Canada for just over 3 years. And I know a little bit about the organization. Please fill us in at any time. I know that Eco Canada is a nonprofit organization and strive to work with governments, policymakers, as well as industry and academia to ensure that us in Canada are considered as a global leader in environmental initiatives and jobs. When we spoke, you mentioned that you have just about 50 staff members. So please tell us more about your organization.
Yeah, that's correct. So Eco Canada is the steward for the Canadian environmental workforce across all industries. We do things from job creation and wage funding to training and labor market research. We champion the end-to-end career of an environmental professional. So our efforts promote and drive responsible, sustainable economic growth to ensure that the environmental care and best practice are a priority. Our headcount is about 50 and growing. We are one of the lucky organizations out there that has not been affected negatively by COVID in terms of our headcount. In fact, we've seen an increase in funding for our employment programs, which in turn not only means that we are creating jobs externally across Canada, but also at ECO, we're adding new members by the day, basically, due to this growth.
That's wonderful news. And based on my humble experience working with nonprofit clients, I know that a lot of nonprofit organizations probably either have a part-time HR or external HR or just one full-time HR person. Are you still the only HR person there?
Not anymore. So initially when I started, I was part-time, but over the last, 3 years, my role has grown to full-time, and now we have 2 coordinators on my team, which has been a tremendous help just with the basic, volume of recruitment that we're doing now. It's really great to have extra help.
I believe so. Yeah, so that's great to know that your team is growing by 2 additional members. How has your HR experience been with ECO?
My experience with ECO has been really positive. I originally came on just to help with the recruitment phase that they were going through, but then I've been able to grow my position to be the full-time HR manager, and ECO's provided me so many wonderful opportunities to grow as a professional, including right now where I actually get to help out with the employment programs team too.
Wonderful, that's great. And recently I came across a research shows that the engagement score is the highest with the nonprofit sector than other sectors or industries, if you will. So I understand you have done several workplace engagement surveys. So tell us a bit more about that interesting experience.
Yeah, so when I joined ECO in 2017, the organization had just gone through a major downturn. For a number of reasons, the company went from around 60 staff to as low as 10. So that meant the culture was undefinable, onboarding and training was haphazard, but under new leadership, ECO was determined to grow and get back to our cultural roots, if you will. So we started to streamline or create HR programs and policies without over-policing the employee experience. We started to create intentional employee engagement initiatives, and we provided multiple opportunities for employees to be able to speak and to be listened to. So after all of these programs, we launched our first engagement survey in the fall of 2019. The leadership team and I were really pleased with the results. We had an active and engaged employee base, which was over 80%.
Wow.
So we listened to the feedback that was provided in those survey results, and we were able to implement some things right away. So additional time off, and then some of the new programs, like for instance, we are developing an internal professional development program, which will be launched in a couple weeks. And that is a direct result of some of the feedback that we received on that survey result.
Oh, that's excellent. That's great to know. And especially for us who work in human resources, we understand how critical it is to have an engaged workforce. So it sounds like you have done a lot of good achievements there. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're trying.
Yeah. And can you tell us, I'm really curious, was you mentioned about that professional development program that you have developed that's going to be launched. Do you mind sharing with us just a bit more about the content?
Sure. So some of the feedback that came back through that survey result was that employees were interested in growing professionally within their role or within the organization, but that they didn't necessarily want to take, a full certificate program externally, or they didn't have the time to maybe have a course outside of work hours. And so we really wanted to grow our employees and offer some almost like on-the-job training, but a little bit more formalized. And so it's just working together as the HR team we're calling it Eco Academy, and it is providing, like a mini university of sorts where our employees are going to be able to pick certain courses that they'd like to do, and they're really short. They're only, 30 to 45 minutes, where they can really upskill or maybe learn more things on leadership development or HR issues or more technical skills like Excel. So that is one of the programs that we're launching in the next couple of weeks.
That sounds very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so if I may switch gears a little bit and talk about your pandemic experience. I know that COVID-19 has caused a tremendous amount of stress to a lot of organizations and HR professionals. But according to your story just now, ECO has experienced some growth during this time. So please tell us about your pandemic experience.
Sure, yeah, we weren't exempt from stress. But we definitely have seen some growth, including to my team. It was stressful to navigate the ever-changing situation, but one thing that made it easier for us was the fact that we had been upgrading our IT systems over the last 2 years. So when the federal government announced that everyone should be locked down and working from home, in March, we were able to get everyone set up basically overnight. Employees already had the right equipment, and all of our files are stored on MS Teams, so there was no major issues with connecting remote. Even our phones, for instance, are through our computers, so we just basically needed a headset. The other side of stress was the mental health and wellness of our employees. We really wanted to ensure that everyone was set up and supported to work remote, and we acknowledge that everybody's life situation is different, and that can be very stressful. So one of the things that I did was I created a channel on Teams that was simply for staying connected. So it was a place where, or it is, a place where we share articles, resources, and other non-work related content. It's been a really successful initiative. And we've also tried to bring some of our successful in-person engagement ideas to the virtual world. So for instance, we have our coffee meetings, happy hours, we have games that occur on a monthly basis, birthday celebrations. We also quickly transformed our peer recognition program to a virtual setting. And last month, we saw the most nominations in a single month. So that's been a really positive experience. And we're actually going to keep that same format going forward in the future. So throughout this pandemic, our strategy has been to be flexible and to listen to our employees. Everyone reacts different to stress, and we understand that. And so we've done our best to support all of our employees during this pandemic, and we've involved them in every step of the way. So for an example, I do frequent check-ins with employees. I sent out an employee survey in April about how everybody was doing, both at work and at home in terms of needing any support or having any questions. And then we also included the employees in our review process of our office relaunch guidelines prior to it being finalized. And this was just a really great way for employees to be able to bring questions or concerns or suggestions forward before we actually finalize that document. And then our president and CEO, Kevin Nielsen, has been transparent about how this pandemic has impacted ECO. And in the beginning days, when things were a little bit more uncertain or unknown, he made sure to let everyone know that we had, no plans for layoffs. And if that were to ever change, it would be communicated and it would never come as a surprise. So that just really helped manage stress levels, and employees didn't have to, add that to one of the things that they were stressed about during this pandemic. Fortunately, ECO's been able to weather this storm, and as I've mentioned earlier, we're adapting and growing our programs and services with great success.
So we're coming down to the end of our vlog conversation here. I want to understand from your perspective, based on your 3+ years of experience with ECO Canada, what do you see as a big challenge going forward?
I think the biggest challenge for HR at ECO going forward is making sure that we're equipped with the right people during this time of growth. So, for example, our employment programs team is the largest it's ever been, and our goal is to create jobs across Canada through a number of our wage subsidy programs. So in order for this to be successful, we need the right people in the right seats. And as we onboard new staff and we keep working with existing staff, we need everybody to be more engaged than ever. So being able to promote these programs to their networks, for our stakeholders to feel supported, and the ultimate goal, of course, is to create meaningful work opportunities for Canada's youth. So this is a really big challenge no matter what the circumstances are, but to have such a big objective mid-pandemic, where all our employees are working remote and all our networking is happening in a virtual setting, it's going to be a big challenge, but I think we're definitely up for it.
That's excellent. Great to hear the confidence. So we're coming down to the end of our conversation today. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
No, I don't think so. I would just encourage everybody to check out our website if they, if this is the first time you're hearing about ECO Canada, because there's a lot of resources for HR professionals there, as well as a lot of wage subsidy opportunities for organizations that are looking to hire young professionals and might benefit from some funding for those positions. We have a number of programs operating right now.
Wonderful. That's great to know. And we'll share the contact information and the social media contact information on this vlog as well. Great. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.